Hi everyone. Gonna do another painting demo again from Chris Smart's reference, Photoreference. Here we are. Okay, so when you blur your eyes out, I see there's a fair bit of light that's reflecting here on the bottom, and there's light that's coming in from these windows. So we have ourselves a predominantly black unlit scene, and outside we have all these, these windows, light coming in from the windows. Overcast day outside, sky is more or less overexposed. Sky's overexposed. So instead of going through and trying to put in every single petty window, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take that in one big sweep. Defocus your eyes. I'm going to defocus my eyes. Let's see, what am I missing? Well, you know what? I'm going to go and put those strips in, but at least this is a lot faster than having to tippy-toe around the beams. You just put the beams back in. And seeing there's one beam over there, so I'll put that beam back in there. And gee, that was awful fast. I'm going to try and these windows look a little too tall, so I'm going to make them a little more narrow. Same thing over there. So these are all things that I'm spotting with my eyes partially defocused. Okay, next you've got these little sub sort of window thingamabobs in there. So I got to use a smaller brush, and you got to use the right brush for the job. Small lines require small brushes. Big areas that need to be filled fast are going to need a big brush. Now the problem with the round circle brush is that it doesn't take everything, so you're going to have to shrink it down, make it smaller. For my purposes, I've used a program called GlovePie, and I hacked the Wacom DLL so that I could patch a joystick routine into to adjust the size of the brush. Okay. So I have a foot pedal that allows me to control my brush size. See? I just stomp a pedal and it changes the brush size. Gives me about 127 different levels of brush resizing goodness. Looks like part of that door's out there. I've got those two. Alright, now I'm going to handle the next things. I'm going to handle these posts. Well, on the other hand, I can't really take care of this one because this one is so close to the edge. So I'm just going to neglect it. I'm going to deal with this haze outside and those rooftops. So there we are. And there's one far telephone post out there. There's another one over here. It's amazing what you can get with just a little bit of a silhouette. And then there's a few power lines that are streaming off of these. I can kind of... Okay, so now we have something that, if you looked out, hey, it looks like a photograph. That's what you want. You want to get the lighting right. Next thing up, we have these very, very powerful reflections here. So I'm going to choose my white color, and I'm going to repaint the windows. Well, hang on, the floor's here, so that means here we are. I'm going to do it the same way as before. I'm going to treat it as if this is as if the floor is missing and there's simply another level of windows down below. It's faster this way. So this is how I handle the reflection. And I gotta make those a little more narrow. Ditto on this side. Gotta clean up the silhouette. So in no way do I really care about having really clean brush transitions. You see, I'm messy all over the place. This is another reason why I defocus my eyes, is because I don't want to get caught up in these little, unpretty bits. I don't want to waste my time on that. I'm not going to get this done within 10 minutes if I waste my time on those things. So now I'm just having to paint in all the areas where we've got this long thing right here. All the areas that are not reflective. Now I have, and in fact, these areas of the tile, they're not really, well, there, I can put that in. Now I can just cut it up. So put in big transitions. Find the big transitions and then just cut into them. And generally makes things a lot easier. Okay, now on the rooftop, what do we have up there? We have a bit of this. You can see the color of the wood coming through. So I'm just going to pick the brightest part of that color of the wood, like that. Mine's actually a little brighter, but by regulating the pressure of my brush, I can get dim amounts. If I want something brighter, I just push harder. So by doing this, I avoid having to keep changing the current color I have selected, and I am avoiding trying to cut things up. I'm just shading things relatively smoothly. I'm putting in a few bits of detail, but afterwards I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut into this big tone as well. So now I can take the black, I can cut into, see all these black areas, I can cut those in. Now, so this is, then I can go in once more with the white. I'm not painting, pure white, I'm simply being very gentle with the brush and hitting a few spots. So this is the kind of thing that you can pretty much do in any painting program. Just putting these specular highlights of some of the wood back in. I think some of these areas are a little too strong, so I'll just have to take some black and hit it over the head a bit just to tame it. Again, whenever I start working with a big brush, the bigger my brush, the more I have to fuzz my eyes out to tell where to put things. Same thing goes for smaller details. You notice how I'm not zooming in at all. I'm working at this zoomed out level. I'm not zooming in because I don't need to see all that fine detail. Okay, I'm cheating a bit here. It's not exact, but now I'm just putting in color on the areas that are lit. I'm leaving all the rest of the color out of the equation because it's too dim for us to notice those parts. But we will notice anywhere that the light's going to fall, that's where, well, wherever the light is coming from, your light sources, those will typically be, in this particular situation, overexposed. And overexposed is, well, white. You can't sense color in an overexposed area. You can't sense color in an underexposed area either. So you have to find the areas that are just kind of a little bit lit, that are neither over or underexposed, and put your color in those spots and refrain from trying to throw color in any other areas that are not within the exposure area. Overexposed and underexposed means you can't sense color in those areas. It's because all the channels have roofed out or they've bottomed out. So now I'm just adding these little reflective bits. And by not going through and choosing lots of different colors, the benefit of that is I don't waste my time. Well, it means that I just go over the entire picture and use that color everywhere. So that prevents me from tunnel visioning. So this is what I can get in about 10 minutes.